Hello my lovely Flosstube friends. I have a little fur friend down here that's trying to bomb the video, I think. You want to say hello to everyone? Is that what it is? Are you loving the mummy? Oh. Someone's a little needy. He's had mummy at home for Christmas and he's really sort of enjoyed the fact that I've been here constantly. So he's rather needy at the moment, aren't you? You're needy. Right, come on. Off. There you go. Right. Okay, so in case you hadn't noticed, we're in a different place. Fudge, go lay down. Go lay down. He's not listening to me. So we're in a different place today. So the weather is so atrocious outside because it's absolutely chucking it down with rain. It's too noisy in the kitchen diner to do the usual video out there because we've got a big glass back and a glass roof, so it gets really noisy. And because it's been Christmas and my study has turned into sort of the bomb site room, I can't even get in there, so there was no point in trying to do it in there. So we're doing it in the bedroom today. Ignore the wooden bed. The wooden bed is still to be replaced and obviously can't be done until after the new year, so ignore that because it's not even supposed to be in the room. It was supposed to have been sorted out before Christmas, but you know what it's like when Christmas is coming, everything else sort of goes on hold. So the fact that you're seeing me before the new year means that it's all good because today is Friday the 29th of December. So I'm managing to get an update to you before January, which is fabulous. So where to start? So we're just going to try and make this short and sweet, or as short and sweet as I can make it anyway. So this is my November-December update. And surprisingly, believe it or not, I've actually managed to get a bit of stitching in, which, hallelujah, everyone. I hope you all, for those that celebrated Christmas, I hope you had a lovely Christmas. And for those that don't, I hope you enjoyed at least a bit of time off work and some festivities of some description. Mine was very low-key. Very low-key. So the plan was that we was going round to my my outlaws for Christmas dinner. My mum hasn't been too well towards the end of this year with bits and pieces, so wasn't too sure whether she was going to be well enough to go to my brother on Christmas Day. So it was all a bit up in the air right up until 24 hours before as to whether I was going to go to the outlaws or whether I was just going to stay at home with my mum. As it panned out, Mum was okay. She ended up going to my brother's house. We went round to my husband's parents. We had dinner. Unfortunately, my husband had a bit of an upset tummy. So literally, we had dinner. He started to feel really rough. And I would say within an hour of eating dinner, we had to leave and come home. So very low-key. Very, very low-key. Which is not a bad thing, because it's nice to have a low-key Christmas every now and then. So, but it was all lovely. Right, so what are you here for? You're not here to hear my life story about Christmas. You're here to see about whips. So, where to start? Okay, so I think the first thing that I need to acknowledge is the extremely sad news, or shocking news, I think, for a lot of us, about the sad passing of Martina Weber, who designs the chatelaines. That was a complete and utter shock when that popped up on Facebook, and just by the comments alone, I think that sort of gives gratitude and loving thoughts to her family for the amount of comments that got posted either on the Chatelaine website or elsewhere. Such sad news, and to be so sort of sudden, I think it shocked the community as well, and her family. I can only begin to imagine how they must be feeling. But her daughter did put a lovely post up on the Chatelaine Facebook group, about her mum and her relationship with her mum, which brought tears to your eyes. It was really quite touching and really quite emotional. So obviously, because of the sad news, I thought at the time it was only fitting that, given the news, that I pulled my chatelaine out and did some stitching on my chatelaine in loving memory of Martina Webber. I mean, she will be sorely missed, but her chatelaines will live on through all of us. I mean, there are so many of them. It just makes you want to sort of do more of them now. So, so I got my chatelaine out, and whilst, you know, reflecting and contemplating and reading the comments and looking through bits and pieces, I actually did some stitching. So, for those of you that don't already know what I'm stitching, so I'm doing the Evening in the Park Mandela Garden, which was formerly a mystery, which is this one. Yeah. And I actually, it worked out, the way that it worked out was quite fitting. So, because of where I'd actually gotten to on this chatelaine, bear with me, I'm about to disappear out of shot. Oh, there you go. Because of where I got to, the part that I actually ended up stitching was really quite fitting, in actual facts. And it did put a bit of a smile on my face. You'll see what I mean in a minute when I can get it out of my scroll frame covers. So, here it is. Okay, so unravel it. So the last time you saw this, you should be seeing a rough idea of where you last saw it. And I'd already stitched the snowflakes and the crocuses before I put it away. But then, in memory of Martina, I thought I'd best stitch a swan. So I've only done the one in remembrance of her, but this is where we've got to. Let me just give you a bit of a close-up if I can. So here's the swan. These are the crocus flowers here, and the snowflakes. And I did start some of the beading. Let's see if I can show you the beading. So, where's the beading? The beading's here, which go on the snowflakes, and they go here on the crocuses and here on top of, and then a couple just where the flower bed is. So this is the flower bed. Obviously these are some of the flowers. These are the crocuses, crocus flowers, the snowflakes, and then there's the lovely swan. So that single swan, as far as I'm concerned, whenever I look at this piece now, I will always look at this swan and think of Martina. So, and I thought it was quite fitting to stop there. So yeah, so my chatelaine is, and I still absolutely adore this piece. I don't know whether you can see much of the sparkles. It's a bit difficult to do it here because of where I'm at. But yeah, so still absolutely adore and love this piece. And I don't know how much sparkle you can see, but there is, so it's now starting to sort of become apparent how much beading is actually in these pieces and the intricacies. But yeah, so I'm making fabulous progress on this. My plan is, I mean, originally I was going to start another chatelaine straight away when my new one turned up. I'm pleased to say that the kit has turned up, which you probably already know, and my fabric's actually turned up now, which I will show you when I decide that it's going to become a new start. So I'm still quite undecided. I'm sort of trying to convince myself not to start another chatelaine until I've cleared something else. So, me being me, I'm still undecided. I keep saying, oh, I just want to get it out. I want to start it. I want to make it a new year, new start. But given that I've already done lots of starting, it seems sort of wrong in a way to then go start something else. So I've sort of convinced myself that I'm not allowed, really. I say I'm not allowed. I'm not necessarily going to allow myself to just start it for the sake of starting it without finishing something else. So I think I need to finish something before I start something, and give myself something to sort of really sort of focus on other stuff, so that it allows for me to do the new start. So yeah, so that's Chatelaine. Love it, absolutely love it. You know, who would have thought that this time last year even, it was, you know, I think I started it last year, last December. Let's consult with the X-Stitch app, shall we? So when did we start that? I think we started it at Christmas. I think it was between Christmas and New Year. Me and Donna Murray started we started our Chatelaines along with Mary Perkins. Yeah, it was. And do you know what? It was a year yesterday. So the 28th of the 12th, I put my first stitch. 28th of the 12th, 2016, I put my first stitch in that Chatelaine. Wow. There's a year already, and I'm not anywhere near finished. So, not surprise, surprise. Okay, so that is the Chatelaine. So the piece that I've basically been trying to sort of really focus on getting seriously involved with, because obviously I need to make sure that I can free myself up to decide whether I want to start another Chatelaine or start something else, is my QS Grace Faces by Josephine Wall. So here's the picture of what she's going to look like. And for those that are on social media, and obviously you know that I update my blog, and when I update my blog it's connected to my my Facebook account, so it's updated on there. So you will see it not only got one page finish, I have 2 page finishes. So this is where we're at, and it's actually not on a frame. Sorry about the wrinkles. And here she is. So we've got literally 2 partial pages left before she's finished. 2 partial pages. But because I stitched on her and just went crazy with it, I crazied myself out. So now it's like, oh no, I can't do it anymore. I need to give myself a break. The only thing that I will say about this piece, which is a bit, I say I'm worried. I'm not overly worried, but because I've run into this before with the Heaven and Earth designs. So here on her face, where the colour changes, when I look at that, that's like, oh dear, I'm not sure that looks right. But I've made this mistake before where I've looked at it and I've thought, oh no, I don't think I like that, and oh my god, what am I going to do now? Because it doesn't look how I thought it was going to look. Once you actually complete it and finish it, you can't judge how it actually is going to look. So at the moment I'm like, oh, what's all that going on? You know, I wasn't expecting that, and I'm not sure that I like that, but I'm pretty sure that the further down I get, this will blend and it won't look quite so contrasting as it does now, which doesn't put me off of it, but you know, it's just like I wasn't expecting it to be quite so different, because that almost looks like it's got the wrong colour in it. But I will reserve judgment until I get to the end. But that is where we're at. But it's so close. So close. And deep down I know I should be thinking, do you know what? Get on with it, Teresa. Do it. Finish it. You know, you're off between Christmas and New Year. If you really focused yourself, you could probably get almost completed on that and have a finish. So that the new year, I could almost be at a point of starting something new. But I've stitched on it so much that I think I'm just like, oh, no more. Can't do any more. Even the thought of having it finished for the end of the year, possibly, if I really went crazy with it, I'm headed out. at the minute. I just can't face the thought of sticking anything else, any more stitches in it for yet at the moment, because I've just done nothing but that. But I mean, I love the colours. The colours are fabulous. The only thing is, obviously I'm a bit concerned about the bit on the face. But like I said to you, I've run into this before where I've looked at something and I thought that doesn't look right, or it doesn't look how I thought it was going to look. And at first you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure about that. But then once you get the rest of the stitches in, believe it or not, it changes how it looks. So I'm just going to persevere with it. And yeah, if I can bring myself to pull it back out between Christmas and New Year, then I will. But at the minute, it's like, oh no, I'm sort of done with that for a little while. But I'm sure you all know what I mean. It does tend to be very much that way. So yes, so Grace faces 2 more partial pages and she is done, put to bed, off to be washed and go in the framer and all that good stuff. But obviously, you know, when I get her finished, it'll be like, woohoo, happy dance. What else have we got? So also, the last couple of days, I pulled out my Mirabelli Andromeda, which is this one. This was what I received from my lovely daughter for my birthday. So I thought I'd best pull this one out and get a bit of stitching in. So now I've just got to see whether I can show you where I've got to. I don't really need to. I think that is all I've got. So this is where we're at. So I've done all the hair. So the hair is now completed. Let's get it out there. That's it. So the hair is completed, and obviously I already had this bit down here. This bit was already stitched. So I just focused on getting the hair done, and I've now just started to move over here and started filling in across, which basically, if I get the picture, so you'll see where we are. So that is what I've done. So we're getting there. I've basically done the sash that goes behind her hair and run down the back. So now I'm going to sort of try and move over. I've decided that I'm going to do the skin 1/1 for my sins, because, you know, it just seems wrong not to. But because of the way, because what I've done this time round, because obviously I made lots of mistakes on the Roses of Provence, I'm going to use my lessons learnt from that piece on this piece, which was why I started sort of in the middle to make sure that I was in the middle, worked my way up one side and done all the top, and now I'm going to work my way down. But because obviously a lot of this pattern is all to do with her face, I thought, well, if I actually worked strictly from the top and worked my way down, I'll have all of her face done, and then have not really that much to look forward to. I mean, can't imagine that stitching this rock's going to be that exciting. So I thought, well, if I stitch everything around her skin, at least the top half, I can do her leg and those bits down, and then just go back up and finish her face towards the end, because it's the way I roll. And I need something to look forward to. I need to see her sort of come to life at the end because of the sort of chart that it is. So yeah, so I've done a few days on that one. And obviously being off work and, you know, not really having much to do and not going out very much because the weather's been horrid, I really feel like between Christmas and New Year, I've actually got loads done already, in comparison to what I'm normally getting done. What else did I stitch on? So I also stitched on a little bit. I mean, I think because I've been trying to focus on Grace faces and obviously my chatelaine, and they can be quite testing. So they're the sort of things that, you know, it needs to be really quiet and you need to really concentrate and focus on. So with Andromeda, because it's not quite so intense, it's really quite a pleasure to stitch on because there's some rather big blocks of colour. The other one that I've got, which is my winter white Santa here, which, don't get me wrong, is absolutely adorable, love him to pieces. But again, he's another one that does actually require a bit of focus, you know, and you need to really concentrate. I don't know whether it's because of the fabric that I'm doing him on. So I should really tell you what I'm doing on. So obviously Grace Faces is done on 18 Can Magic Guide. My Andromeda is stitched on 28 count Lugana in Cyrus. Now that's a 28 count. My Winter White Santa is also on a 28 count, but it's an opalescent 28 count called Tempest. Now, believe it or not, and I don't know if someone can answer the question or whether, you know, you've had the same problem, but the 28 count on an Andromeda, which is non-opalescent, is really easy to see, really easy to stitch on. My Winter White Santa, which is on the opalescent, is so much harder to stitch on. The holes seem to be smaller, even though they shouldn't be, because it's exactly the same count. So again, this is a 28 count, and again, like I said to you, I've barely touched it, but I have done some on it. That's where I've got to. But the holes are so much harder to see. And it seems to be much harder. It requires a lot more focus on my part to see what I'm doing on this one. Maybe it's the colour of the fabric, I have no idea. I mean, I went with this because I wanted it to look like the sky. And basically what you're looking at there, this is so difficult in this room to do this. So what you're looking at there, she says, if she holds this up, is the very top of his stick. So that bit there is the top of the stick. This has turned into a really difficult video, I've got to be honest with you. But the fabric, for some reason or another, is much, 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 much harder to stitch on. So therefore, when you've already sort of like drained yourself with the chatelaine and the heaven and earth with all the colour changes, I needed something easy to stitch on. So this one's sort of not being neglected as such. Well, I suppose it is in some respects. It's being neglected, but that's only because everything else that I'm stitching on is quite complex. So the fact that the idea was to go stitch something that didn't require too much brain power or too much thought, this one keeps sort of being left. Not that he's going to be left forever, but with so much... I don't think anything's going to change, is it? The video's just constantly, or the camera's constantly going to keep switching itself off. Maybe I should make that a New Year's resolution, to fix the damn camera, to stop it from doing that. But anyway, so, again, not really much progress on that one, but it will get progress. It will get some stitches in. Not necessarily now, but through the course of the year, it will definitely get some stitches in. What's next? Frosty Forest. So my, what's it called? Patchwork Rabbit Auto Ship Frosty Forest by Country Cottage Needleworks. So this has been my my commuting piece, because obviously it's festive and I can easily take it in the Q-snap on the train with me. So although it seems like it's took me forever, which it probably has, I have completed block number 1. So here he is, block number 1. And I've just started to do the outline border for block number 2. Super cute, and my first time ever doing, what do you call that? What are those called? French knots for his eyes. They didn't go so well. I'm still debating whether I want to whip that out, and I might put 2 black beads in there instead. Because because I'm not overly impressed with that, but I do enjoy it. I don't like the fabric, I've got to be honest. The Zweigart linen fabric, I don't like it. I don't like it very much. Not enough to not stitch it, but enough that it makes me realise that I really am not enjoying that fabric. So Chris, so I've done block 1, which was the raccoon house. We are now on block 2, which is Snowy Deer. This is the one that I'm currently stitching. And then obviously I've got the specialty threads and the little button to go on. I'm going to put all the buttons on at the end because obviously it's going in my Q-snap. And I think it was a day or so ago, block number 3 turned up. So I'm sitting there thinking, is it me behind or are they just ahead? I think what they've done is actually sent the next block in time for Christmas, and obviously because the Christmas rush and the new year, I think they've sent this one out earlier so that we've all got it in time for January. So the next one, which is block 3, I haven't even started really block 2, is Mans Cottage. This is this one. Super cute again. Again, specialty threads in the back and the little button. So yeah, so I've just got to try and keep going with this. But like I said, as long as I got a couple of blocks in, and then I've got, you know, because it's on an auto ship, although it may arrive, doesn't necessarily mean that I've got to stitch it, does it? Especially sort of when it's not, you know, festive time. But my plan is I would like to have this done and completed so that by Christmas next year I can have it hanging up somewhere. That's the plan. It's always good to have a plan, people. Just to stick into it, that's the problem. So yeah, so again, you know, I've actually managed to master and get some stuff done on there. What else did I do? So one thing that you didn't see, and that I had to sort of keep it under the radar and couldn't put it on social media, I done a little present for a girl at work. If I can find a picture now, because obviously I couldn't post anything, I didn't put anything up, so I can only show you pictures on my iPhone. Now, I made it, and I thought, the idea was that I wanted to turn it into like a little thing that she could hang on her bag. You'll understand why in a minute. But once I stitched him up, I realised he was rather big, so I had to make him into like a cushiony hangy thing. And it's the first time that I've ever sort of turned something into like, other than like a mirror, like a Mill Hill kit, like the little Santas. They're flat. This is the first time I've made anything that's puffy and padded. So I did come a little unstuck. So she's a football supporter and she's well into, I think it's Tottenham. Yeah, I think it is. So here's the symbol, and that's what I made. So the only snag for me was I had to stitch the sides of like the little cushion thing, and I done the back stitch all the way around on 2 bits of the fabric, and then stitched them together with like a, I don't know, like a sewing stitch. So it didn't go too bad, but the corners weren't that great. But that's sort of basically how I put it together. So I stitched it together like that. But I wasn't overly impressed with how my corners turned out. So my corners looked a little bit ratty on the ends. But for her first time, and the fact that she's quite into sort of rough and rugged, you know, if it's handmade, then she knows a bit of thought and time went into it. So it's not like she'll be sitting there going, oh. But yeah, I've got to be honest, even I was a bit like, that didn't quite go how I thought. But it's a good start, and it's another thing that I've done. I think it's about the only thing that I've completed this year. which sort of sucks. Oh no, there is another one. But that was literally a quick throw together, do it as fast as you can, and get it to her before Christmas. That was against the wire, but then everything is for me. So yeah, so that's it. That's all the stitching that I've managed to do. What else to talk about? Oh, so lovely gifts. So a lovely lady contacted me and asked if she could have my address, and would I mind if she, you know, she sent me a nice gift. Sorry, it's really windy outside now. And she sent, so obviously I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, of course, that'd be lovely. Well, she's done me a really lovely little card with some lovely words in it. Her name's Wendy. So here's my stitched card with some lovely flowers on it. Super cute. Super cute. Sorry about that. I had to go on the hunt because this is actually being used. So she sent me these lovely gifts. And I've got to be honest, you know when like you're quite wowed by something. Well, let me take my pins out of this because I've been using this. So when I've opened the package, not only did I get a lovely card, I got a lovely needle minder. Little snowman. Let's get it in focus. So he's super cute. So I was like, oh, that's lovely. But the piece de resistance, people, is this beauty. This lovely little beauty. So she's made this for me. Look, Teresa Little Stitcher. And it's got metallic thread on it. I don't know if you can see the metallics. Let me see if there you go. And it is a little cushion, and look at that. And then on the back, how cute is that? I was blown away by it. I was wowed. I was like, oh my god, that is the cutest thing ever. And when I've received it, she's actually got an Etsy website called Wending Stitches. Needlework design, patterns, ornaments, needle minders. So if you want to have a little look, I mean obviously yes, of course I've gone to the Etsy website and checked it out. And you know, it's like, oh, they're so cool. And I think she even does like custom type ones. But I mean, here's the details. So, you know, if you want to go and check her out, because I would definitely advise that you do, because they are super cute. And it's so handy. I love it. Absolutely love it. And the fact that she sort of sent me one as a gift, and it's actually got my Teresa Little Stitcher on it. And it's so good. So good. I mean, well, the proof's in the pudding. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm partial to a needle minder or two. But the bit I like about this, especially when I'm working on like my chatelaines and stuff like that, because I have more than one needle, when I don't like to have lots of needle minders all over my projects, because I end up catching sort of the needles on my arms, and next thing you know, I'm losing all my needles. So because obviously I have a beading needle, sometimes I will not only have the needle that I'm stitching with, I'll have another needle which will be sort of, although you can have beading needles, they also, I use, I think it's a 28 embroidery needle for some of my beading, for the beads that got slightly bigger holes on them, because I prefer that so I don't keep stabbing myself. So just as an example, obviously you can see I've got my thread on there, but this is my beading needle, and I just stick it in there. And then my actual stitching needle, which is this one, which is what I've been stitching with, also goes in there. And then on top of that, I've also got a petite tiny little one, which again is an embroidery needle, but that works very well for my beading. And that goes in there. So when I'm working with more than one needle, which I do a lot, I can stick all of my needles in there and just pick the one that I want as and when I need it. And because it's not, there's nothing one laying on the other, or the way the magnets are, when you sort of attach your needle, you end up sort of having to sort of separate them to get to the one you want. This really works for me, especially when I'm working on something that I'm using more than one needle. It's fabulous. It's so cute, and it's such a good idea. Oh, I dropped it. But again, you can drop it and all the needles are still there. It's so cute and so fabulous. I love it. I would definitely say go check out the Etsy website, because it's super cute and super soft and super squishy. And yes, okay, it does stick out that much, but I don't have a problem with that at all. I haven't found that to be an issue on my stitching, especially when I'm stitching on my frames. But it's so cute. So again, check it out. Wendy Stitches, lovely lady, does some wonderful, wonderful stuff on that Etsy shop. But yeah, so thank you so much, Wendy. I really, really love it, and it's being put to massively good use. So thank you for that. So that, people, is about it. I mean, obviously you would have noticed that I haven't improved much on social media, but that's purely because time's sort of been against me, but then it is for everyone at this time of year anyway. I'm finding that Instagram, I look at other people's accounts on Instagram, so I look through the feed of Instagram, but I never actually take pictures and upload my own real Instagram stuff very often. I do when I remember, and I do randomly every now and then. But it's not something that I do regularly like some of you do. I see, you know, the same people, they update, and, you know, and I do follow it. But I'm just not very good at it for myself. Equally the same as on Facebook, you know, the Stitch Mania and Cross Stitch Finish Line, you know, those Facebook groups. Again, I look through them and I look at what everyone else is doing, but just never remember to upload it myself. But what I have been trying to do, and it seems to, so far, touch wood, it seems to be working, is I do my blog. So when I'm on the train on the way in or home from work, I would have already took pictures on my phone of what I was working on, and then I basically do my blog with my update of what I've been doing. And then when I upload my blog, it also sends it to my Facebook and Google account. So therefore, for those that are connected to my Facebook and to my Google, you see it as a post. That works for me much better than, well, it works for me, because before that I just never posted anything on social media, and the only thing that you saw was every now and then you'd get a random Instagram sort of post, or it was Flosstube. So at least with the blog, something goes up, and I'm recording it somewhere. I think going forwards, that's going to be the thing for me. With the amount that I work, the amount that I'm travelling and commuting, and the lack of time that I have when I'm at home, you know, the last thing I want to be doing is uploading pictures and putting stuff on Facebook and Instagram accounts, when that's my, you know, that's my stitchy time. That's the time that I've actually got to stitch. Whereas when I'm stuck on a train, there's not really much else I can do. So if I've already got pictures on my phone, it's a lot easier for me to just do my blog and upload it as one, and it goes to all of them. You know, it's with Instagram, it's just Instagram. With Facebook, it just goes to Facebook. At least with my blog, it uploads to my blog and Facebook and Google. And then when I do my Flosstube videos, again, not only does it upload to YouTube, it uploads to my blog and it uploads to Facebook. So they all sort of connect together, which I'm finding to be much, much easier to deal with. So I think going forwards, that is what I will be doing. So for those that want to head over and check out my blog, the blog thing is here. Obviously Facebook, come find me on Facebook. Instagram, again, I am on Instagram. Do I upload very much to it personally? No, not very often. But I do watch all of you. So by all means, follow me and I'll follow you back. So yeah, that's about it really. So that's the stitching. That was what you was here for. Yeah, this has been a bit rambly, isn't it? I'm really not. I think it's because I can see out the window. So when I'm sitting here, I can see what's going on outside. And it's not in my back garden, it's out the front. So you tend to sort of end up like, oh, hello, what's going on out there? So yeah, I'm sorry that I've sort of seemed quite vague. I think it's quite vague just doing it in this room because it's just a bit odd. You know, I've not got everything around me and I'm not set up like I normally would be. So yeah, so this is new. But hey, it's doable. And, well, what's wrong with a bit of rambling in between stitching, huh? So anyway, just in case I don't see you all again before the new year, I wish you all a happy new year. If I do see you before new year, then we're doing good. So yeah, that's me done. So bye bye for now, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye bye.